in the lane, just perfectly done.
And you know, you look at the coaching carousel, the profession has perhaps never been more volatile. Steve, you're getting ready to enter that yourself. A real shakeup right now, and hopefully it settles down.
Well, that's one of the reasons I got the opportunity, Kevin. So many changes, and so we'll see what happens. Hopefully that volatility won't be going on in the Bay Area.
I think that play sort of sums up what we've seen throughout, just simply being outplayed both sides of the ball. Smart basketball defensively turning into quick points.
And that's not going to be able to continue if they hope to get back into this game. But it's a deflating play for your morale. 100% free throw shooting this half, guys.
Efficiency is so crucial when you're trying to overcome a deficit, Steve.
For Washington, they have made 7 out of 9 when they've stepped to the line.
Aaron Gordon drafted after just one season at Arizona, and is extremely young for his class. His folks enrolled him in school early because of his size and energy level as a youngster.
Oh, and here we go. Wall's got it. The fast break chance.
Boy, the floor really opened up for him there.
It sure did. A good job getting it started before the defense can get itself set.
Feeds to Morris. He dishes it to Caldwell Pope. Inside. Here's Thompson. Plumlee with the rebound. And Gordon has always had a passion for the game. When he was 10, he'd broken so many portable hoops. His parents bought him a permanent one. They said they'd put it up the next day. Around midnight, they heard a sound, looked outside, and he was digging the hole himself. I like this guy.
Well, that certainly shows a love for the game and a very mature work ethic. Bodes well for his future.
Got a piece of it. Martin for 3. They get it back. Gordon kicks to Martin. And Wall. Here we go now.
Chicago foul called. Corey Brewer. That's his first personal foul.
Well, the Wizards signed John Wall to that max contract extension last season, and he made his first All-Star game appearance and led the team back to the playoffs for the first time in 6 seasons.
And Wall finally adding a consistent three-pointer to his arsenal last season. He shot almost 4 threes a game and made them at a 35% clip.
Looking at who's out there now for the Wizards. Andre Blotch, he's checked in for Plumlee. Humphreys comes in for Gordon. And Smith subbed in for Cartier Martin. Shot clock at 2. It's deflected. Brewer knocks down the 3-ball.
Should probably use a little clock here.
Yep, make this the very last possession.
Humphrey sets a pick for Wall. Smith the pass to Blotch. There's the feed to Wall. Smith outside. And another miss by Washington. Well, through. The Bulls leading by 19. They've got Smith. Martin is out there with Humphreys. Then it's Blotch. And it's Moore in at the point. That's the group on the floor right now for Washington. To the left side wing. Here's Johnson. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Nice jump shot from the top of the key. Johnson's got the fourth quarter going with the first basket of the period here for Chicago. Smith drives in. Johnson over to help. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will take it.
Such a careless pass. You've got to keep your head in the game here.
And here's Smart. To the wing on the left. Here's Thompson. Washington with the rebound. Watch has got double-digit rebounds now in the game. Pass to Martin. From deep. And it's Chicago with the rebound. The biggest lead of the game was 24 points. Levine kicks to McRoberts. Now the dish to Smart. Passes it to Thompson. And J.R. Smith picks up the foul. That's his first foul.
You know, every team in the league loves to have good size in the middle, but it does seem like the league is getting tougher for big men. You know, help defenses now, the allowance of zone defenses, you can sort of load up on players. It can inhibit a big man's ability to attack because you can see double teaming even before he's gotten the ball. But it's made for great strategy, and I really like the new rules.
Johnson outside. This one for three. That's collected by Blatch. Blatch has got rebound number 12 here already in the game. And as the game has required more movement, Clark, we're seeing big guys try to slim down.
And yeah, big men with agility are at a premium, but also it takes a little bit of the stress and strain off the joints. As few as 5 to 10 pounds less can make a big difference, and that's huge for big guys.
Johnson, the pass to Levine. And again, no good by Chicago.
Would have been lucky to knock that shot down.
Yeah, that kind of shot will definitely get you the high eyebrows from the coach and maybe get you a seat on the bench, too.
Moore dishes to Smith. The Wizards working the ball around now. Martin with the bucket.
Now it looks like he's starting to get things going here after that scoreless first half.
The Bulls leading by 16. Levine kicks to Johnson. Dishes it to Smart. And that one's good.
2 points.
And the Bulls lead by 18.
Well, he wasn't phased at all by the bigger man on him. And on the low block, I thought he might be.
You know, Steve, I thought maybe he'd prefer to bring him out to the perimeter, but whatever works, go to it.
Washington calls timeout.
Marcus Smart, a big physical power guard out of Oklahoma State. 6'4", 225, maybe a bit of a tweener, but he's a natural leader. Plays the game with a lot of passion and competitiveness.
Looking at who's out there now for the Wizards. Plumlee, he's checked in for Blatch. Gordon comes in for Chris Humphries. George is checked in for Martin. And it's John Wall in for J.R. Smith. And there's Rose on the assist from Smart. 14 points for Derrick Rose.
How about the field goal percentage shooting this half, guys? It's gone through the roof.
And Plumlee kicks to Wall. No good on the triple. You know, you talk about Marcus Smart's passionate nature. Of course, there was that incident last season.
Yeah, he confronted a fan in the stands in a game against Texas A&M, I think it was. He got heckled. Texas Tech.
It was Texas Tech.
Yeah,
yes.
Texas Tech. But he's a high-character kid, and I think that was just an emotional aberration that he learned from and will be better for it going forward.
And the foul on Derrick Rose. That's his first foul.
Well, you like it when a guy goes hard to the boards, but you have to be smart. He went right over his back on that one. Not a good play.
I think he was just over-anxious that time.
And here's George for three. Plumlee. And there's the slam dunk to finish it off.
Look at that effort and energy as he creates the second chance and then converts.
He doesn't just convert, Clark. He converts with maximum force.
He could give lessons on the art of offensive rebounding.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will retain possession. J.R. Smith's checked in for the Wizards.
Checking in for your Wizards, J.R. Smith.
Now here's Smart. There's the pass to Johnson. Fires the three. Offensive rebound. Smart with the ball. Over the wall. Takes a big high bounce and goes in. Smart's got 4 points in the quarter.
Boy, this team has really been on the offensive glass here in the second half, doing an outstanding job. And that's one of the reasons they're on top.
And it's Gordon finishing it off.
Flying high and throwing down the hard one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys.
And he does it as well as anyone. Tremendous skill in the air.
Smart wide open. He fires. And not a good shot for him. They can get better looks than that. Smith, the pass to Plumlee. And George kicks to Smith. Pass to Wall. 6 to shoot. Smith drives in. Goes back up. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line.
Very nice pickup of the offensive rebound. And once he gets his hands on it, you know it's going back up and back in.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Morris is checked in for Thompson. And it's Ross in for Smart. Back to Rose. Fires, high post. Shot's good. Rose has got 4 this quarter.
How about that? Gets it off right in the face of the big fella. Quick release.
And operating on the perimeter like that negates some of the height disadvantage, too.
Smith dishes the Wall. Smith and Rose picks him up defensively. Wall. The Wizards with another miss.
Kevin, I didn't like that defensive effort at all, but they're lucky he missed it.
Yeah, they were very lucky defensively because there was some miscommunication there. They left him wide open.
Kicks it to Morris. He feeds it to Ross. Here's Hill. Soft touch off the glass. And the Bulls lead by 19.
Nice pass. That one was right on target.
Smith outside. He kicks to Plumlee. Rose with the rebound. Rose has got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Feeds it to Morris. Back to Rose. He dishes it to Ross. Pass to Hill. Kicks to Morris. On the wing, Johnson. Off the mark there with the 3-point shot.
Well, I tell you what, that's fantastic defense on one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. The key there was not to give him much space before he took that shot.
And that's the only way to stop him, Clark. The defender has to be all over him with a hand in his face.
And Ross with the slam.
Fantastic pass. He turned that one into a pretty easy basket for his teammate.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
They got to find something. You're right. Here's Wall. That's good.
You know, the height difference there is huge, but he canceled it out with great body control in the air.
Exactly, Steve. He got to the hoop and wouldn't allow himself to be manhandled by the big boy.
And there's the feed to Hill. Here's George. And that comes off the assist by John Wall. And that's 11 points for Paul George. Chicago calls timeout.
You know, he wants to tinker a little bit, and he's taking the time to do so right here.
Yeah, I think you're right. He just didn't like some of the things he saw out there, a bit uncomfortable, and wanted to talk it over.
For the Wizards, Blotch comes in for Plumlee, and Chris Humphrey subbed in for Gordon. Ross kicks to Johnson. There's the dish to Hill. Chris Humphries comes up with the rebound. Humphries has got his 6th rebound on the night. Smith wide open. He fires. And the 3 off target.